Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am so happy that you have found me and are taking some time to join me this morning. It is January 13th. Before I get started, a couple things. I want to continue to send energy, thoughts, loves, prayers, and any kind of financial or physical support that can be sent to the people of Puerto Rico. They have again been hit by another rather strong earthquake, and that's concerning. This portable island has really been getting beaten up lately by the earth and weather systems. So if there's anything you can do to help those people, please do. And if you are so inclined, please keep them in your thoughts and help keep them safe. As I understand it, I hope I'm not wrong, there was no loss of life with this last earthquake, and so that is a blessing in and of itself. And when I asked the divine, you know, if the energy that we had sent last week helped, and I got a definite, yeah, you know what, it really has. It could have been a lot worse without sort of a lot of that protection and support going to the island. So please keep it up. Cory Booker has withdrawn from the presidential run, so that's kind of a good thing, or the nomination. And the only other thing I would like to just share with you is the Celsius scale and the Fahrenheit scale, temperature-wise, they don't meet up very often, right? Like Celsius freezing is 0, and in the United States, freezing is 32 degrees. So there's kind of a big disparity, and not very often do the numbers actually, does the same number kind of hit. Well, there is a point where it does hit. And that temperature is either 40 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit or minus 40 degrees Celsius. Here in the central part of Alberta, where I live, we are right now in the middle of a really serious cold snap. This thing's going to last about 10 days, which is really crazy long. And I think it's by Tuesday or Wednesday, we're anticipating being the coldest place on the planet. So, you know, come on, right there. The North Pole is not doing its job. It's supposed to be keeping that really cold air up there. And for some reason, it seems to think that we want a blast of it down here. So this week, kind of midweek, we are anticipating that we will be, with the wind chill, experiencing minus 40 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. So if there's anybody out there who's experiencing some really hot weather, please let me know, because I would be more than delighted to send you some of our cooler temperatures. If you see me later on this week doing a video bundled up in a blanket, you'll know why. Okay. Thank you very much for the support of this channel. It is so appreciated. And I can't thank you enough. In response to comments that I have been getting, I want to do a pendulum reading today. So I have a bunch of questions. I'm hoping that I've sort of, you know, covered kind of the ones that are most primarily on your mind. For those of you who do not know pendulum work or have not seen me do pendulum work, the answers have to be carefully phrased, and you are only going to sort of basically get a yes, no answer. So to show you, if this pendulum, well, okay, well, let's just say show me yes, and you will see that the pendulum is moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Stop. When the pendulum stops like that, it is either waiting for the next question or it is not going to give you an answer to the question you have asked. And the pendulum responds to the current vibrations, okay? It's not guaranteeing that what it says is going to happen. It's just telling you that given the current vibrations or the energy, these are the most likely outcomes. Pendulum, would you please show me no? And you will see that it goes in a circle. Now, as you're watching the pendulum go around and around, you might notice some slight movement in my hand. That is literally as a result of the momentum of the pendulum. Because it is a very short pendulum, my hand will sort of vibrate a little bit to that momentum. If you use a longer pendulum, it tends not to happen as much, except for doing these videos. The shorter pendulum just works better, like easier. It's easier to see, and I can keep it all in one frame. So let's get started. We have a bunch of questions, and I hope that I answer some of the ones that you have been interested in getting the answers to. And remember, it's a yes/no answer. So the first question is, is the Senate going to move ahead with a Senate trial regarding the impeachment of Donald Trump? And so that's an absolute yes. Is the trial going to result in Donald Trump's removal from office? And that is a no. And that, honestly, that's in keeping with what I have been saying. Now, I will tell you, because I asked some of these questions beforehand, one of the questions that the answer has changed, so I'm going to ask it now and we'll see if it's changed. Is Donald Trump likely to leave office before the end of his current term as president? Yeah, so see, I am now getting a no consistently, whereas before I was getting a yes. So I'm not quite sure what has shifted or changed, but something has. And right now, currently, it looks like he may actually be able to hold in place. Is there going to be a lot of really damaging information that comes out with regards to Donald Trump and his behavior during his presidency? And that is a yes. Is there going to be more behavior or more information that comes out regarding Donald Trump and his family and their personal or business dealings? And that is a yes. Is Donald Trump going to be president for another 4 years? Is he going to win the next election? Okay, and that's a no. Is Mike Pence, ever going to hold the title of President of the United States? Is that in the cards for Mike Pence? And that is also kind of a big no. Is a Democrat going to win the presidency? Is a Democrat going to take the White House as a result of the 2020 elections? And we have a yes. And stop. Is the Senate going to be controlled by the Democrats as a result of the 2020 elections? And that is a yes. And will the Democrats hold the House as a result of the 2020 election? And that is a yes. I have said for a really long time that I really think that the best way to get the country back on track is if Joe Biden ends up being elected as president. Is that still looking like it is most likely to happen? Oh, and that's a definite yes. And I'll do, at some point I'll do a reading and I'll explain why the energies are looking that way. If Joe Biden wins the 2020 election, will he run for a second term? Or is he likely to stick to his promise of being a one-term president? Yeah, he is going to stick to his promise. Is he likely to have to choose a female or a woman of, or a person of color, or both, as his vice president? That is a big yes. Is part of the reason that Joe Biden going to become more and more attractive to the voters of the United States because there is a recognition that he has the strongest foreign policy experience, know-how, and he is very likely the best person to kind of start stabilizing relationships globally. And yeah, that's part of the reason why people are going to be very, very attracted to him as a president. Is Mitch McConnell, the good senator from Kentucky, I'm so sorry, you people in Kentucky, honestly, is he going to be reelected as a result of the 2020 election? Oh, and that's a really big no. Okay, and so while we're asking that, let's check in on how Lindsey Graham's going to do in the 2020 election. Is Lindsey Graham going to be reelected as a result of the 2020 election? And that is also a no. Okay. Okay, let's go here. Is Pompeo going to be impeached or charged, or like criminally charged, for his behavior as Secretary of State? That is a yes. Is William Barr likely, okay, stop. Is William Barr likely to be impeached or criminally charged as a result of his behavior as Attorney General of the United States? And that's a big yes. Is William Barr likely to lose his law license? If not in 2020, in the year following that. So yes, one way or another, he's losing the license. And the other one that I consider particularly distasteful is Steve Mnuchin. Is he going to be, I don't know, impeached? I'm using that sort of as a government investigation, the word, and it actually being impeached. I'm not sure if he can be, but I'm pretty sure those administration officials can be. Okay, Mnuchin, is he likely to be impeached or be criminally charged? Okay, and so we have very strong yeses, honestly, on both of those. Is Steve Mnuchin currently helping Trump funnel money or line his pockets with money? Is he doing something behind the scenes that is increasing Trump's assets? Oh boy, that's a big yes. That's a big yes. Is one of the things that Trump's doing, is he shifting money offshore? Is he removing assets from the United States and moving them to offshore accounts? And that is a big yes. Is Donald Trump currently entertaining the idea of leaving the country as soon as the election is over, or as soon as the handoff takes place in January? Is that something that's running through his head, that he thinks it might be a good idea to just get straight on a plane right out of the country? And that looks like a big yes. Is Melania likely to go with him? That is a no. That's probably not really surprising. Are any of his children, specifically Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, likely to give evidence against their father? Are any of them likely to do that? And that is a big yes. So let's see if we can narrow that down a bit. Is that likely to come at the hands of Don Jr.? That's no. Is that likely to come at the hands of Eric Trump? That is no. Is that betrayal to a father likely to come from Ivanka? And before I could even get all the words out, of course, that has come back as a yes. Let's just, is Ivanka going to end up in serious legal jeopardy as a result of things that have gone on as a result of her father being in the White House? So advantages that have been taken because of the position her father holds. Is she actually going to end up in some real serious legal trouble about that? And the answer is yes. And is Jared Kushner also likely to end up experiencing some significant legal trouble? That is a yes. Is the Trump brand going to take a serious enough hit that it will cause the company to completely decline? And that's a big yes. Let me just take a moment here to think. Is Donald Trump's physical health declining in any sort of a significant way? Physical health. That's a no. Okay. Is Donald Trump's mental health declining in any significant way? That is a yes. Is Donald Trump relying on any sort of stimulant besides Coke, as in the drink, to keep him functioning, I guess? Oh, and that is a big yes. Okay. Actually, let's check out on a couple of other ones. Is Pompeo's health, mental or physical, sort of under stress and strain? Yes, it is. Are we likely to see any sort of deterioration as a result of that? No. So I guess he's hardy stock. It doesn't look like, despite the stresses, there's going to be sort of any significant, decline in his health, which I mean, that's a good thing. You don't want to wish ill on people. And how about William Barr? How's William Barr's health doing? Is he physically in good shape? No. Is William Barr likely to experience one or more significant ill health episodes? And that is a yes. Is the situation with Iran, between Iran and the United States, going to escalate? Okay, so as you can see, the pendulum is not moving. So that is indicating to me that those energies are still sort of really up in the air. So are some of Iran's proxies likely to attack or intend harm to Americans? I'm sorry, that's a big yes. And are any of those attacks going to be experienced on American soil, as in within the country of the United States of America? And I'm sorry, that is also a yes. Is there going to be sort of any significant loss of life as a result? And that is no. So that's a good thing. Is Iran likely to use its ability to wage cyber attacks against the United States in retaliation for the assassination of Soleimani? And that's a big yes. Was Pompeo and Bolton, were they part of who was encouraging Trump to take the aggressive stance he did with Iran? And that answer is yes. Was Putin involved in those conversations, or did Putin's input help Trump make up his mind? That's also a yes. Were there other countries aside from Putin? I'm thinking of any Arab countries, Saudi Arabia in particular. Were they also part of this? Oh, you bet their butts they are. Okay. And at the root of all this, does it really boil down to oil, gas, money, greed? And not surprising, that is a yes. All right. Is the Senate likely to be kind of forced to have witnesses, right? If 4 Republican senators side with the Democrats, they're going to be able to kind of force McConnell's hand and bring witnesses forward, and that is a yes. Okay, so yay, 4 or 5 Republican senators. Way to go. Are there going to be documents also released? That's yes. Is the Senate going to get the 67 votes it needs to remove Trump from office? Yeah, that is a no. Is John Bolton likely to testify in the Senate? Yes. And is Trump going to try to block at least some of his testimony citing executive privilege? And that is also yes. Is the percentage of people who want Trump removed from office going to increase from the number that it's at now? And that's also going to continue to increase. And is that going to happen as a result of the hearings? Is that going to happen as a result of the hearings? Okay, and that is a yes. Now, what is that guy's name? Lev Parnas. So he is talking a blue streak to, I don't know, a city of New York is who the district, the Southern District of New York, whoever it is who has slapped a bunch of charges against him. Is he going to be able to continue to release information? Okay, and that's a big yes. And my next follow-up question with him is he wanting to testify at the Senate? Yes. And is he likely to be able to testify at the Senate? Okay. Right now, it's a very kind of yes, kind of no, kind of back and forth. So it hasn't been decided, or that issue sort of hasn't come up. It hasn't built up enough energy. Let's take a look at Giuliani. Is Rudy Giuliani going to end up losing his law license as a result of his behavior with Trump? Yes. Is Giuliani going to continue to experience investigations against him for his behavior? Yes. Is Giuliani going to end up in serious and significant legal jeopardy as a result of his behavior? Yes. And is he going to be found guilty? It's looking like a yes, but it's not strong, which makes sense because, of course, that, that's likely to happen a little bit down the road. Okay. So what we know right now is that it looks like Trump is not likely to leave office before the end of his term, which is incredibly sad. And I'll continue to check, okay? Like, don't come unglued. Energy shift and change, and especially considering there's bad news and a lot of it expected to come out on Trump with regards to not only his behavior as president, but his personal behavior and his family's behavior. Those energies are very, very much up in the air and are often subject to change. And one final question I have with regards to Trump is this. No, I have two. Is Trump actually going to run? Is he going to run for re-election? Oh yeah, his ego's not going to let him do otherwise. And the next question is Mike Pence going to be his running mate? Whoa, dead still. Okay, Trump hasn't decided. Is Pence going to end up in legal trouble as a result of things that come out about him? And that is a big yes. So it definitely sounds like that big old broom is going to be sweeping out the White House something fierce in the next while. And my final question with regards to Trump is well, crap, it just flew right out of my head. Okay, so we know that he's at this point. It looks like he's going to run. It looks like he's not going to win. It looks like there's money being funneled outside of the government, outside of the United States for him. Is any other Trump, so Donald Trump or Ivanka or even Jared Kushner, who are all entertaining, I think, fantasies of becoming a U.S. president, is that likely to happen? Like, honestly, is there like a snowball's chance in hell of that happening? And that is a rather large no, and I'm just going to assume that's for all of them. Okay, so Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I have answered some questions for you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll be back tomorrow, most likely, and I will do a tarot reading then, and we'll delve into some of these answers perhaps, or who knows, maybe new things will come up on the surface. I hope you have enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.